Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, January 26th indicate that Anita Dupree will endure a crisis, while Bill Hamilton puts Tomas Navarro in his place. The land of Fairmont Crest will be a flurry of activity come Monday, so let's unpack all the drama together. Beyond the Gates spoilers remind fans that Anita collapsed rather suddenly at the end of the Friday, January 23rd show. Both Sharon Winger and Vernon Dupree were present and completely shocked. Added teasers suggest that Vernon will be reeling from Anita's condition, and it sounds like he'll turn to someone unlikely for assistance. With that said, who will this person be? Across town, Nicole Dupree will share a steamy milestone she's hit with Danny Dupree. From the sounds of it, Nicole will tell her sissy about her sizzling night with Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald. The two finally did the deed during the Thursday, January 22nd show, so it'll be good to see the two sisters spilling some fun tea for a change. Still, will Danny also spill about her kiss with Bill? Speaking of Bill, it sounds like Tomas will somehow frustrate his boss, so much so that Bill will put Tomas in his place. Bill just promoted Tomas to partner. However, this was more smoke and mirrors to ensure that the young lawyer stayed silent about the kiss he saw between Bill and Danny. Will Tomas bring it up during the Monday, January 26th episode? Then again, now that Tomas is a partner, will he be on an ego trip at the firm? Is this why Bill puts him in his place? Lastly, Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that Naomi Hawthorne will lean on Ashley Morgan. As it stands, Ashley is the only one who knows that Naomi tested positive for the BRCA gene. Will Naomi tell Jacob Hawthorne about what she's going through? Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Naomi will continue to keep this BRCA secret during the week of January 26th. So when the truth comes out, could this negatively impact her marriage? Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of January 26 to 30. Note that Nicole Dupree will shock Catherine "Cat" Richardson as Andre Richardson and Haley Hamilton come to an agreement. Plus, there's a medical concern for Bill Hamilton. So let's talk about all the drama set to unravel in Fairmont Crest next week. The CBS soap just dropped its preview, and the very first scene that opens is Nicole, looking sizzling hot and dressed to impress at Uptown. Nicole approaches the bar as Kat and Tomas Navarro are looking on from a table. Kat and Tomas are about to toast to something when she notes staring at her mother. OMG, that dress, the hair, she looks... Tomas finishes Kat's sentence with, fine as hell. Of course, Tomas's comment gets a dirty look from Kat. As the Beyond the Gates preview video continues, Bill is at the hospital, dressed in a gown, as Dr. Madison Montgomery examines his test results. Is this a routine physical, or is he rushed to the hospital at some point during the week of January 26-30? In addition, Madison will notice a medical issue in his paperwork. Bill states in the preview, "Are you kidding me? There's been no change for months. What are we talking about here?" Will the poison surface on Bill's test results? Across town at Orphe Jeans, Naomi Hawthorne and Jacob Hawthorne have a table as they enjoy a meal. Naomi tells her hubby she's heading to the hospital to learn more about preventative cancer treatments. Jacob responds with, "Why? You tested negative for the variant?" Will Naomi finally tell Jacob that she does have the BRCA gene marker? As the BTG promo rolls on, Shanice Johnson and Ted Richardson greet each other at Uptown with a hug. Kat is at the other table as she pipes up and says, "Hey Dad, how long has this been going on?" Back to Haley, she'll be locked in a serious discussion with Andre Richardson. Haley tells Andre, "You know what's up, Andre. You know what you have to do." Andre replies with, "Yeah." Are these two going to work together to keep their respective spouses away from each other? As the Beyond the Gates weekly preview wraps up, Chelsea Hamilton tells Madison in a desperate voice, "I've finally found the love of my life." This is when Madison replies, "I love you enough to walk away." Is Chelsea getting dumped by the good doctor? Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of January 26-30 suggest some major surprises in store for fans, so viewers won't want to miss a moment of the drama. Anita heads off for chemo, telling Vernon that he's staying home and Sharon will be accompanying her to the appointment. At the hospital, when Anita's thoughts turn dark, Her gal pal tries to lighten her mood. But Anita needs to talk honestly, something she can't do with her family. Sharon agrees, saying, "Let's play worst-case scenario." Anita reveals she's been planning for her grand exit, even looking into a firm that mixes one's ashes with special soil to turn you into a tree. As for Vernon, "He has been the rhythm of the center of my soul for what feels like forever," Anita admits. She fears Vernon's broken heart will drag him into an early grave right after she passes. Sharon promises not to let Vernon fall through the cracks and keep him going. "Even when enduring the deepest grief," Sharon says, "life will go on." Later, the two return to the mansion where Anita promptly collapses. Naomi almost but not quite tells Jacob that she tested positive for the BRCA gene. Isaiah joins the couple as talk turns to the complicated relationship between the Hawthorne men and their dad. Jacob kinda accidentally reveals that he's about to go undercover, which shocks Naomi. She later goes to the hospital and confides to Ashley that she has the BRCA gene, adding that she can't tell Jacob and distract him as he takes on a dangerous assignment. Bill tells Danny that Tomas saw their illicit kiss. They compare notes on their respective marriages, which leads to another steamy kiss, which I'm immediately sure is a daydream on his part. Sure enough, Tomas snaps Bill out of his sexy fantasy. They have a veiled conversation during which Tomas essentially says he won't spill the beans, and Bill rewards him with a junior partnership. At Uptown, Pamela, yes, she and her accent are back, worries that Danny is going to wind up being burned by Bill. Danny, however, insists that the kiss she and Bill shared was just two people caught up in memories, nothing more. Danny insists Bill leaving opened her eyes, and she is totally in love with Andre. Talk turns to their modeling agency. When Isaiah enters, they wonder if perhaps he'd be perfect for their agency. Even as Leslie is assuring Eva that her parents will soon be reunited, Shanice is filling Ashley in on the fact that she and Ted had a very good night, and afternoon, and morning. After Eva mentions that Ted is growing close to Shanice, Leslie heads out, clearly ready to confront that trifling heifer. At the hospital, the loon warns Shanice to back off, but the nurse stands her ground. When Leslie literally threatens Shanice, the nurse threatens to have her dragged off to the psych ward. Leslie leaves, but not before issuing a pretty scary threat. Ashley and Grayson take a coffee break at Orphe Jean's. Just as they're discussing whether or not they're cat people, Derek plops down at the table. Despite being as welcome as an STD, Derek grins like a fool. Grayson exits gracefully, and Derek acts as if he wasn't trying to crash the date. Across town, Jan and Mona catch up. Ashley's mom clearly does not approve of Ashley jumping into something with Grayson, and we learn that the concerned mom is very involved with someone named Owen. Later, Ashley convinces Shanice to tell Derek he needs to move on. Secrets are coming out left and right in the latest Beyond the Gates preview. This means several couples could be headed for trouble, though other romances appear to be getting a much be exposed. Kat and Tomas are out on a date, likely celebrating his making junior partner at Bill's law firm, when Nicole shows up dressed to the nines and with a fancy hairdo to match. Even Tomas can't help but comment, "She looks fine as hell." But is she meeting Carlton, Kial, or someone else? Bill goes for a checkup with Dr. Madison and is informed there is an issue when she reviews his test results. Bill's rattled, as there has been no change in his condition for months. Well, not that he knows of. He's still not wise to Haley's attempts to take him out, but could something in his blood work signal he should be more careful with what he drinks? Naomi tells Jacob she's headed to the hospital to do research on preventative cancer treatments, which puzzles her husband, as she tested negative for the breast cancer gene. Well, that's what she's told everyone, but the audience and Naomi's doctor know the truth. And now, she may have inadvertently revealed her secret. Kat spots her dad out and about with Shanice, and notes how close the two are, and wonders how long this has been going on. Meanwhile, Haley meets with Andre and reminds him that he knows what is up and what he has to do. This must have to do with Danny and Bill's most recent stolen kiss, which is becoming a pattern with these two. Finally, Chelsea cries to Madison that she's found the love of her life in her, but Madison states she loves her enough to walk away. Poor Chelsea can't catch a break in the love department. Beyond the Gates, spoilers indicate that Isaiah Hawthorne might be a bit of a newbie in town. However, it looks like his portrayer, David Lemmy Freebie, has settled in nicely with the entire cast backstage. Freebie just dropped a hilarious social media video poking fun at a fellow co-star. Freebie jumped on Instagram recently, following a social media trend of doing an impression of an owl. The headline on the video read, "My impression of owl, but it's Chief Elon Hawthorne." In the video, Freebie states, "All right, so this is an impression of owl if the owl is Chief Elon Hawthorne, and you told him his son Isaiah just got back into town." Of course, Chief Elon Hawthorne, Isaiah's dad, played by actor Malachi Malik, is standing next to Freebie in the IG video. Freebie proceeds to do an impression of Elon by saying, "Who?" with an attitude on his face. Freebie looks back at Malik and then looks back at the camera and says, "Thank you." The caption of the Instagram post read, "Mean-ass owl at Nyamalaki Malik." Freebie added the following hashtags. It's clear that both Malik and Freebie were playing it up for the camera, and along with fans, other Beyond the Gates co-stars flooded Freebie's IG post. Ronnie Rose Mantilla wrote, "Lmo," while Carla Mosley added, "Silly." Meanwhile, Daphne Duplay placed 5 laughy emojis in the section, and her on-screen grandson, Jaden Lucas Miller, added 3 fire emojis. Jasimie Burke placed a laughy emoji in the comment section, as Freebie's on-screen brother, Gibre Horges, commented with 3 laughy emojis. It must be a Hawthorne thing, as Malik also commented with 3 laughy emojis. The Hawthorne men may not always see eye to eye, but it's nice to know that, off the canvas, Malik and Freebie love to joke around. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, January 26th, hint at some major bombshells on the horizon as Fairmont Crest ushers in a new week. Anita Dupree signals an SOS, while Bill Hamilton is frustrated with Tomas Navarro. Plus, Ashley Morgan supports Naomi Hawthorne. Find out more about Monday's episode below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, January 26th, indicate that Anita will be in dire straits. So much so, Vernon Dupree will be concerned. Interestingly enough, Vernon will reach out to someone unlikely for help. Who could this person be? Across town, the Dupree sisters will connect. In fact, Nicole Dupree will spill the tea regarding a milestone she's reached to Danny Dupree. Is this about her night with Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald? It's nice that these sissies will have something fun to talk about for a change. Across town, Bill will grow frustrated with Tomas. In fact, he'll put the young lawyer in his place. It sounds like Tomas may throw Bill's kissing action with Danny from the Thursday, January 22nd episode. Tomas caught the exes smooching in Bill's office, and while he remains silent about it, it does seem as if Tomas won't mind reminding Bill of what he knows on a regular basis. Finally, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, January 26th, imply that Ashley will be there for Naomi. It sounds like Naomi will confide in her best friend about her Bjarke gene secret, but continue to keep it from her family and husband, Jacob Hawthorne. The only silver lining in all this is that at least Naomi has someone to lean on during this time, and someone in the medical field at that. What are you most looking forward to during Monday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tune into Beyond the Gates Daily for all the Fairmont Crest drama, and visit CTS regularly for the hottest BTG updates, spoilers, and news. Next week on Beyond the Gates, it's a full slate of episodes as Andre and Haley strategize in some form of awkward alliance, and Naomi faces an opportunity to come clean with her husband or to continue lying to him. Here's the video preview for the week of January 26th to 30th, 2026. At Uptown, Kat spots her mom at the bar, and she is stunned at what she sees. "Oh my God, that dress, the hair, she looks fine as hell," Tomas says as he finishes his girlfriend's sentence. Nicole looks amazing, but who is she meeting? It could be Carlton. After all, he and Nicole recently leveled up their relationship when they had sex. Or it could be Dr. Kial Rollins, niece, who is back in town. Spoilers reveal he and Nicole are about to grow closer next week. Madison wears a couple of hats next week. First, she dons a stethoscope as the doctor has a potentially perplexing discussion with Bill. "There's an issue," she tells him. "Are you kidding me?" Bill responds. "There's been no change for months. What are we talking about here?" Bill's right to worry, considering what his wife, Haley, is slowly doing to him. Will that issue turn out to be effects from the allegedly undetectable poison Randy gave his cousin so she could become a Black Widow? Naomi and Jacob are together. He has told her about going undercover. However, she still hasn't told him that she carries the variant. She explains to him why she has to leave. "I am headed to the hospital to do research on preventative cancer treatments." Jacob immediately questions his wife. "Why? You tested negative for the variant." This is a perfect chance for Naomi to tell her husband the truth. How will she respond? With the truth, or will she continue to lie? Back at Uptown, Kat spots Ted and Shanice. She soon asks Shanice, "How long's this been going on?" Shanice has gone up against the likes of Leslie. She'll be able to handle Kat. Besides, they are friends, and Kat will probably approve of anyone other than Leslie dating her dad. Haley and Andre once again find themselves in the same place. Haley seems to be in panic mode, thinking that she may lose Bill to Danny before she could ever kill him. "You know what's up, Andre. You know what you have to do." Unfortunately, Andre knows exactly what she's talking about. And unfortunately, he has to worry because left to her own devices, Danny gets drawn into Bill's orbit. Finally, Madison and Chelsea are on the verge of a relationship breakdown. In the promo, it sounds like the girlfriends are in the midst of an argument. "And I found the love of my life," Chelsea insists. "I love you enough to walk away," Madison counters. Madison is seeing a side of Chalea that she didn't know existed, other than in social media posts, that wild and free side. Madison is a buttoned-up, by-the-book neurologist. Chelsea lives life large on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe they're way too different to stay together. Will they be able to overcome their current obstacles? Beyond the Gates' recurring cast is back in action, helping tell the story of Fairmont Crest. Here are the latest comings and goings hitting the DMV and Fairmont Crest from January 26th to 30th, 2026. Kenja's back next week as Madison, Garland Memorial's favorite neurologist, and Chelsea's girlfriend. On Tuesday, January 27th, Madison and Chelsea will continue to struggle to get on the same page. Additionally, Greg Vaughn's orthopedist will be around next week. Kial gets some much-needed FaceTime with Nicole on Tuesday. Malachi Malik's police chief, Elon Hawthorne, is once again clashing with one of his sons. The focus of his heat on Wednesday, January 28th, will be Jacob. On the 29th, Ben Gavin's Derek is part of an altercation with the lab tech at the hospital. Soap vet Jordi Villasuso plays Grayson, who has started seeing Ashley, and Derek has a major problem with that. Elsewhere, Danny propositions David Lamy Freeby's Isaiah. Danny wants him for her modeling agency. Good luck on getting Isaiah to agree. However, if anybody can do it, Danny can. Isaiah will be back on Friday, when Eva's confrontation with Kat leads to trouble. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, January 26th, 2026, to Friday, January 30th, 26. Nicole Dupree is dressed to impress, hair, makeup, dress, and looking amazing. And Tomas isn't shy about saying so. Kat and Tomas are at Uptown. I mean, where else would they be? And Nicole walks in looking ready for a date, and Kat is explaining all the reasons why she is looking on point, and Tomas chimes in with, "And looking fine as hell." Kat is just struck dumb by that statement, and if looks could kill, Tomas would be R.I.P. Bill Hamilton is back at Garland Memorial Hospital, and Madison is going over his chart and says to Bill that there is an issue. Bill says, "You've got to be kidding me." But Madison isn't joking at all. Bill said there has been no change in months and wonders what Madison has just seen. Haley's chemical concoction might be undetectable, but I'm betting that the side effects and symptoms, or what the body produces in response to this drug, are very detectable. Bill needs to notice and take notice, or he'll soon be in the afterlife. In Orphe Jeans, Naomi is chatting with her husband, Jacob. who must be leaving very soon for his undercover assignment. Naomi, who we know has lied about her BRCA gene test, now goes on to tell Jacob, who she knows is a detective and has a sharp mind, that she is off to the hospital to do some research on some preventive cancer treatments. Jacob is immediately wary and asks her why, as she tested negative for the variant. The look on Naomi's face says it all. Jacob can read her like a book, and this will add to the further tension in the relationship when Jacob finds out that she in fact tested positive. Still at Uptown, Kat sees Ted and Shanice hugging each other, and she asks Shanice how long this has been going on for, because, of course, Kat has an opinion on everything and everyone. Will she be happy for her dad? Or will this be one more thing that she can play victim about? This town is full of them, and this one is no different. Haley is sitting with Andre, and the only thing these two have in common is that Bill and Danny are now with them instead of each other, and they both have concerns about their partners and exes. Haley tells Andre that he knows what's up, and he knows what he has to do. Andre is seen just nodding in agreement. Andre is going to have to try keep Danny away from Bill. Tall order, seeing as the two were just caught kissing by Tomas, but it isn't the first time, nor the last, that they will. Chelsea and Madison have been having a rough time since Chelsea inserted herself into family matters that didn't concern her. Chelsea took Madison's mom's side, which is totally against medicine, doctors, and science. Immediately, Chelsea and Madison were at odds, and lately, Chelsea has been acting like she really doesn't know Madison at all. Especially when offered drugs the other night at Uptown, she offered them to Madison. What made her think that was going to go over well? Now the scene is at Kat and Chelsea's place, and Chelsea is telling Madison that she has found the love of her life. Looking right at her, and Madison, in a moment of clarity, responds with telling her that she loves her enough to walk away. Is this the reality check that Chelsea needs? I think so. Next week on Beyond the Gates, all episodes are in play, and everyone is dealing with something big. Andre and Haley are working together even though it feels strange. Elsewhere, Naomi has a chance to be honest with Jacob or keep hiding everything, and Kat spots something she didn't expect. Moreover, Madison gets worrying news, and things get tense for multiple couples. Keep scrolling to find out more. Kate heads to Uptown and freezes the moment she sees her mom at the bar. She is unable to believe the dress or the hair, and Tomas just says what's on his mind. He calls Nicole fine as hell. But who is Nicole waiting for? Is it Carlton? The two of them had just taken their relationship to the next level by having sex. Or else it could be Dr. Kiel Rollins now that he's back. According to spoilers, Nicole and Kiel grow closer next week, and it will make things messier for everyone. Madison puts on her doctor hat. She then gives Bill an update that leaves him confused. She says that there is an issue. However, Bill points out that nothing has changed for months. Later, his worries made sense. It's because Haley has been slowly poisoning him without his knowledge. And that issue Madison brings up might be connected to whatever Randy gave Haley to use. However, Bill has no idea that he has been pulled into something far darker. Naomi and Jacob spend time together. Moreover, Jacob trusts her enough, and so he tells her about his plans to go undercover. However, Naomi hasn't told him that she carries the variant. Later, she says that she needs to go to the hospital for cancer-related research, and that's when Jacob immediately questions her, saying, "Why? You tested negative for the variant." Naomi now has the perfect moment to reveal the moment, but will she finally reveal the secret she has been hiding? Back at Uptown, Kat sees Ted and Shanice together, and she jumps straight to the point. She asks how long it has been going on. Moreover, Shanice is tough enough to stand up to people like Leslie, and so handling Kat would not be hard for her. Elsewhere, they are friends, and Kat would prefer anyone over Leslie with her dad. Andre and Haley find themselves together again. However, Haley is panicking. It's because she is scared that Bill will get close to Danny before she can finish what she started. Later, she pushed Andre and told him that he knows what he has to do. Andre understands exactly what she means. Elsewhere, Danny ends up around Bill, and it makes the situation unpredictable. Madison and Chelsea are struggling together. Chelsea insists that she has found the love of her life. However, Madison tells her that she loves her enough to walk away. Madison sees the side of Chelsea she only knew from social media. And it's the opposite of Madison's world. But will they be able to survive it? For more Beyond the Gates spoilers and updates, keep following Soap Opera Daily. Next week on Beyond the Gates, another week of drama is on the way, including confrontations, surprising moves, and even some new alliances. Danny and Pamela step things up to win Isaiah over to join their new modeling agency. It is still not clear whether Isaiah will join forces with Danny and Pamela or remain on his own path. Meanwhile, Bill has to navigate through a tricky position due to Tomas. He might disclose Haley's shady activities, leading Bill to scheme up an idea that could result in dire consequences for her. Naomi continues to keep her genetic segment hidden from her loved ones, including her nurse, Ashley, and her assistant, Grayson. Jacob goes on an ambitious undercover operation that adds more tension to the week's storylines. There is a lot of drama to be expected this week for the show's fans, who will witness the testing of various relationships and the beginning of new challenges in the town's storylines. Vernon makes a surprising move involving someone unexpected to help Anita, who is feeling down. Nicole prepares to take drastic action, shifting the usual dynamic. Bill gives Tomas a stern warning, signaling tension ahead. Naomi seeks comfort from Ashley as personal struggles weigh on her. The week kicks off with emotional shifts and decisions that will set the tone for coming conflicts and surprises. Kat witnesses a shocking event she won't forget. Vanessa handles business with confidence. Joey takes it upon himself to teach someone a harsh lesson. Haley faces rejection on two separate fronts, challenging her usually strong will. Andre surprises Danny with a romantic gesture, adding a tender moment amid the turmoil. Meanwhile, Kial makes a move to compete for Nicole's attention, shaking up the romantic landscape. Leslie sets a trap, hoping her target will take the bait. Smitty and Martin face possible trouble as Martin wonders where his spouse was all night. Vernon's behavior leads to him being kicked out of the house, adding more friction. Nicole stands firm as she puts her daughter in her place. Naomi continues to keep Jacob in the dark about her test results. Jacob's relationship with his father grows strained as tensions rise. Chelsea and Kat prepare to pitch their product to Fenmore's, a key business opportunity. Derek and Grayson clash, forcing Ashley to intervene. Bill wants to reconnect with Vernon, but is met with resistance. Danny approaches Isaiah with an offer to become the face of the new modeling agency she and Pamela are launching. Eva senses looming trouble based on her mother's mood, adding to the week's rising tension. Haley grows increasingly desperate, hoping her husband will die soon, but Madison's news threatens to derail her plans. Anita suffers a heartbreaking loss, deepening the week's emotional weight. Eva's confrontation with Kat escalates, causing problems with Isaiah. Chelsea makes a shocking move to maintain her lifestyle. Nicole faces a difficult choice as she opens her bedroom door, unsure if Carlton or Kial will be waiting. Friday's episode of Beyond the Gates, which aired on January 23, 2026, brought an emotional blend of honest conversations, hidden fears, and growing tension. As Anita prepared for an important chemo appointment, the focus stayed on vulnerability, trust, and the quiet worries that rise when the future feels uncertain and fragile. Away from the hospital, several relationships showed signs of strain. Naomi wrestled with a life-changing truth she was not ready to reveal. Bill drifted back into memories of an old love. Shanice, meanwhile, refused to be shaken when faced with a threatening confrontation. Each storyline raised the stakes without giving away every detail. At the same time, lighter scenes and awkward moments helped balance the heavy emotions. From uninvited interruptions to worried parents and new career possibilities, the episode slowly built momentum. Everything led to a final moment that left the Gates family stunned and viewers eager to see what happens next. Anita chose to go to her chemo treatment with Sharon instead of Vernon. She explained that she needed someone to be honest with her, not someone just trying to protect her feelings. At the hospital, Anita became sad, and Sharon encouraged her to talk about it. Anita admitted she was preparing for the worst, and had even made plans for what should happen after she dies. Her greatest fear was not dying, but leaving Vernon so heartbroken that he might not survive long without her. Sharon promised she would take care of Vernon and make sure he stays strong. She reminded Anita that life continues even after someone experiences great loss. This honest talk brought the two women closer, but it left Anita feeling tired. Later, after they got back home, Anita suddenly fainted, causing everyone in the house to panic. Naomi almost told Jacob the truth about her BRCA test, but stopped at the last second. Jacob felt relieved by what he believed was good news and turned his attention to family issues and his upcoming undercover assignment. When he mentioned how dangerous the job could be, Naomi was shaken but chose to stay quiet. Later at the hospital, she opened up to Ashley and admitted she carries the BRCA gene. Naomi explained that she could not tell Jacob right now because she feared the stress would distract him as he prepared for a risky mission. Keeping the secret weighed heavily on her, and hinted at emotional fallout ahead. Bill warned Danny that Tomas had seen their kiss, forcing them to face what had happened between them. As they talked about their unhappy marriages, old feelings came rushing back. Bill imagined another passionate moment, but it was only a fantasy. Tomas interrupted and pulled him back to reality. During a careful conversation, Tomas made it clear he would stay silent, and Bill rewarded him with a junior partnership. Later, Danny brushed off Pamela's concerns and said the kiss meant nothing more than memories. She insisted she was committed to Andre, even though some doubt still lingered. Leslie assured Eva that her parents would get back together, but at the same time, Shanice told Ashley that her relationship with Ted was serious and ongoing. When Eva hinted that Ted was getting closer to Shanice, Leslie lost her calm. At the hospital, Leslie confronted Shanice and told her to back off. Shanice refused and warned that she would call security and have Leslie taken in if the threats continued. Leslie eventually walked away, but not before making a chilling threat that showed the conflict was far from over. Ashley and Grayson tried to enjoy a quiet coffee break, but Derek showed up and joined them without being invited. His presence was uncomfortable and clearly unwanted, which led Grayson to leave politely. Elsewhere, Jan shared her disapproval of Ashley moving on so quickly and revealed that she was involved with someone named Owen. Later, Ashley encouraged Shanice to speak to Derek directly and make it clear that he needed to move on, showing that firmer boundaries would finally be set. Jacob and Naomi are chatting about cancer at Orphe Jeans. They get into his important new case before Naomi says she is meeting up with their therapist. Jacob says he can stay, but Naomi says it's all good. Just then, Isaiah arrives, and Naomi uses the opportunity to change the subject by asking about his new job. The conversation shifts to the Elon of it all and how he still doesn't trust Jacob no matter what he does. Naomi asks about his new case, but Jacob says he practically had to beg for it. Isaiah doesn't have too many kind words for his father, but notes how much love he has for Jacob. Just then, Jacob mentions his upcoming undercover work before quickly making her exit. Danny arrives to see Bill, and he is annoyed by her presence. He says Tomas saw their kiss the night before, but he is taking care of it. She goes on about how Bill has it all, the devoted waiting at home, while the only person he is concerned about is the one who can bring his world crashing down. Bill gets up to throw her out, but ends up kissing Danny on top of the desk. Just then, Tomas pulls Bill out of his daydream state. Bill goes on about how well Tomas has been doing at work. Tomas knows what he is getting at and tells his boss he has no desire to jeopardize his job either inside or outside the office. With that, Bill grabs 2 glasses with dark liquor to celebrate his promotion to junior partner. Anita and Vernon are in their living room listening to Leslie's construction workers hard at work. He hands his beloved a book to make her upcoming chemotherapy appointment a wee more tolerable. Vernon gets a little frisky with his wife, who says she will be attending her session without him. Vernon doesn't want her to go alone, but she says his replacement has already been booked. Sharon arrives to accompany Anita to her chemotherapy appointment. Anita tells her husband she has reserved a squash court for him and Martin, and the two embrace. Vernon tells Sharon to call him if anything is needed. Sharon knits as Anita gets her chemotherapy. She tries to stay positive, but Anita says she needs to be able to speak honestly as neither Vernon nor her family can take it. Sharon agrees to play a game of worst possible scenario. Anita has been looking into planning her own homegoing and is considering having her remains turned into a tree so her family and friends could come visit her. Sharon listens, then wonders how Vernon will feel when he discovers her late-night internet searches. Anita talks about how she and Vernon have become so intertwined. She worries if she passes away, Vernon will soon follow. Sharon says their love transcends space and time and will not stop whether she lives or passes. That being said, Sharon promises not to ever let Vernon fall the cracks. They continue to talk, and Sharon says they will always be connected as they are sisters, and begins to sing as Anita closes her eyes. Eva is hanging at her apartment when her mama arrives to talk strategy. Leslie says Valentine's Day is less than 3 weeks away, and asks what Isaiah is planning. Eva says they aren't getting too serious. They chat a bit more before Eva asks about Marcel. Leslie says she is keeping her options open, leading Eva to wonder about her daddy. Leslie says she and her teddy bear are friends for now, but will eventually be walking down the aisle. Eva quickly notes how her daddy is dating someone. Leslie just knows that two-faced Jezebel, Shanice, is all up on her teddy bear. Eva reminds her mama how much better her life got after she stopped focusing on Tomas and moved forward. Leslie thinks Ted is her soulmate, but Eva pushes back, saying she could ruin her friendship with her daddy if she heads to the hospital and causes a scene. Leslie shows up at Garland Memorial and tells Shanice to back off. Shanice says she doesn't need to compete with a woman who had an affair with Ted decades before. Leslie says she and Teddy created a life together, and Shanice will never be able to compete. Leslie threatens to drag her across the floor by her scalp. Shanice threatens to call security, but Leslie makes her exit, but not before saying the will take this mess up later. Hot Grayson and Ashley are giggling and enjoying their coffee break when Derek walks in and up to the table. He surprises them both by taking a seat and making everyone uncomfortable. He talks about his PT and then asks the couple what they have planned for the weekend. At Ashley's request, Hot Grayson heads out to give her a minute. Ashley goes after Derek for ruining her date. She quickly deduces he also tried to sabotage her by spilling tea to her mother. With that, she makes her exit. Ashley returns from her failed coffee date and tells Shanice about Derek. Shanice agrees to try and push Derek to find a woman before leaving the desk. Just then, Naomi arrives and quickly lets Ashley know her BRCA gene test results. Ashley comforts her friend, and Naomi says she is still processing, but hasn't told Jacob nor the rest of her family. She asks her friend to keep her secret, but Ashley wonders why she's keeping folks in the dark. Naomi explains her reasons for staying quiet and says her news will have to wait until Jacob and her family are a little more settled. Danny meets up with Pamela at Uptown. They embrace in joyous celebration of Naomi and Chelsea being BRCA-free. Pamela inquires about Danny's evening, and her evasive tone turns into an admission she saw Bill. Danny describes the evening and how it ended in a kiss. She promises Pamela it was a one and done, but her friend is clearly worried Danny is headed down a slippery slope. Danny knows Bill leaving allowed her to be with Andre, the man she always deserved. Pamela agrees and warns her not to let Bill ruin it. Mona and Jan are across the restaurant talking about Ashley's new man. She can't believe her daughter is jumping into a fling with a man she doesn't know. Mona asks for more details when Jan says it was Derek who told her about Ashley's new beau. Mona indicates the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Jan says there is a big difference as her daughter is on the rebound and her decisions are currently scaring her. Danny and Pamela get to talking about the ins and outs of their modeling firm. They have a new campaign, which requires a striking man. Just then, Isaiah walks in and catches Pamela's attention. Danny says he is Jacob's brother, who just returned to town. Just as they get ready to go ask him, Eva walks in. Danny promises to track him down later to make the pitch. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of January 26 to 30 reveal that Nicole arrives at Uptown in style and immediately draws attention. "Oh my God, that dress, the hair, she looks," Kat says, before Tomas chimes in. "Fine as hell." Bill is caught off guard during a hospital visit when his results show some issues. Meanwhile, Naomi tells Jacob she's heading to the hospital to do research on preventative cancer treatment. Plus, Haley schemes with Andre. "You know what's up, Andre. You know what you have to do," she tells him. Anita's in dire straits, so Vernon reaches out to an unlikely source for help. Nicole updates Danny on a recent milestone, and then does something drastic. Ashley is there for Naomi. Bill puts Tomas in his place. Next week on Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Jan 26/30, 26 reveal that Leslie issues a warning. Meanwhile, Danny and Bill share a kiss, and more. Soap Opera News has the scoop, and the spoiler video you don't want to miss. The latest promo kicks off with Nicole arriving at Uptown and instantly drawing attention. Kat spots her mom taking a seat at the bar, and it's clear Nicole makes an impression. "Oh my God, that dress, the hair, she looks..." Kat starts to say, before Tomas jumps in with, "Fine as hell." That earns him a look from Kat, of course.